Chapter 16. Sarai gives Hagar to Abram. Hagar flees and is sent back by an angel. Ishmael is born. Now Sarai, Abram's wife, bare him no children, and she had a handmaid, an Egyptian, whose name was Hagar. And Sarai said unto Abram, Behold now, the Lord hath restrained me from bearing. I pray thee, go in unto my maid, and it may be that I may obtain children by her. And Abram hearkened unto the voice of Sarai. And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar her maid, the Egyptian, after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan, and gave her to her husband, Abram, to be his wife. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes. And Sarai said unto Abram, My wrong is upon thee, I have given my maid into thy bosom. And when she saw that she had conceived, I was despised in her eyes. The Lord judge between me and thee. But Abram said unto Sarai, Behold, thy maid is in thy hands. Do to her as it pleaseth thee. And when Sarai dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face. And an angel of the Lord found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's maid, whence comest thou, and whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarai. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Return to thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, The Lord will multiply thy seed exceedingly, so that it shall not be numbered for multitude. And the angel of the Lord said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy afflictions. And he will be a wild man, and his hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. And she called the name of the angel of the Lord. And he spoke unto her, saying, Knowest thou that God seeth thee? And she said, I know that God seeth me, for I have also here looked after him. And there was a well between Kadesh and Bered, near where Hagar saw the angel. And the name of the angel was Bir-Lahai-Roi, wherefore the well was called Bir-Lahai-Roi for a memorial. And Hagar bare Abram a son, and Abram called his son's name, which Hagar bare, Ishmael. And Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bare Ishmael to Abram. Chapter 17. Baptism corrupted, age of accountability, circumcision instituted, Abram and Sarai renamed, Sarah promised a son. And when Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to Abram and said unto him, I, the Almighty God, give unto thee a commandment, that thou shalt walk uprightly before me, and be perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and I will multiply thee exceedingly. And it came to pass that Abram fell on his face and called upon the name of the Lord. And God walked with him, saying, My people have gone astray from my precepts, and have not kept mine ordinances, which I gave unto their fathers. And they have not observed mine anointing, and the burial, or baptism wherewith I commanded them, but have turned from the commandment, and taken unto themselves the washing of children, and the blood of sprinkling, and have said that the blood of righteous Abel was shed for sins, and have not known wherein they are accountable before me. But as for thee, behold, I will make my covenant with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations. And this covenant I make with thy children may be known among all nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be called Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee. And I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come of thee and thy seed. And I will establish a covenant of circumcision with thee, and it shall be my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee in their generations, that thou mayest know forever that children are not accountable before me until they are 8 years old. And thou shalt observe to keep all my covenants, wherein I covenanted with thy fathers, and thou shalt keep the commandments which I gave thee which I given thee with mine own mouth, and I will be a God unto thee, and thy seed after thee. And I will give unto thee and thy seed after thee a land wherein thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan, for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. And God said unto Abram, Therefore thou shalt keep my covenant, thou and thy seed after thee in their generations. And this shall be my covenant which ye shall keep between me and thee, and thy seed after thee. Every man child among you shall be circumcised, and ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin, and it shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you. And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you, every man child in your generations. He that is born in the house or bought with money of any stranger which is not of thy seed, he that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money must needs be circumcised, and my covenant shall be in your flesh for an everlasting covenant. And the uncircumcised man child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people. He hath broken my covenant. And God said unto Abraham, As for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah thou shalt call her name. And I will bless her, and I will give thee a son of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be blessed. The mother of nations, kings, and people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell on his face, and rejoiced, and said in his heart, There shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old, and Sarah that is 90 years old shall bear. And Abraham said unto God, O that Ishmael might live uprightly before thee. And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him also for an everlasting covenant with his seed after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, whom Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. And he left off talking with with him, and God went up from Abraham. And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin, in the selfsame day, as God had said unto him. And Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And Ishmael was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. In the selfsame day Abraham was circumcised, and Ishmael his son, and all the men of his house, which were born in his house and bought with money of strangers, were also circumcised with him. Chapter 18. The Lord appears to Abraham. Angels visit. Abraham blessed. Isaac's birth prophesied. Abraham to witness destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. He attempts to save Sodom. And the Lord appeared unto Abraham in the plains of Mamre, and he sat in his tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw, he ran to meet them from his tent door, and bowed himself toward the ground, and said, My brethren, if now I have found favor in your sight, pass not away, I pray you, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree, and I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts. After that you shall pass on. For therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, So do as thou hast said. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead, and make cakes upon the hearth. And Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetched a calf, tender and good, and gave it unto a young man, and he hastened to dress it. And he took butter and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set them before them, and he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And one of them blessed Abraham. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee from my journey. And lo, according to the time of life, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard him in the tent door. And now Abraham and Sarah being old and stricken in age, therefore it had ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I have waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord, being old also? And the angel of the Lord said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child which am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the time appointed, behold, I will return unto thee from my journey which the Lord hath sent me, and according to the time of life thou mayest know that Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh. And the angels rose up from thence, and looked toward Sodom. And Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And the angel of the Lord said, Shall I hide from Abraham that thing which the Lord will do for him, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him? For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him. And the angel of the Lord said unto Abraham, The Lord said unto us, Because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will destroy them. And I will send you, and ye shall go down now and see that their iniquities are rewarded unto them. And ye shall have all things done altogether according to the cry of it which is come unto me. And if ye do it not, it shall be upon your heads, for I will destroy them, and you shall know that I will do it, for it shall be before your eyes. And the angels which were holy men, and were sent forth after the order of God, turned their faces from thence, and went toward Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before the Lord, remembering the things which had been told him. And Abraham drew near Sodom, and said unto the Lord, calling upon his name, saying, Wilt thou destroy the righteous with the wicked? Wilt thou not spare them? Peradventure, there may be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for the 50 righteous that may be therein? O may that be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked. O God, may that be far from thee. For shall not the judge of all the earth do right? And the Lord said unto Abraham, If thou findest in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then will I spare all the place for their sakes. And Abraham answered and said, Behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which is able to destroy the city, and lay all the people in dust and ashes. Will the Lord spare them? Peradventure, there lack 5 of the 50 righteous? Wilt thou destroy all the city for their wickedness, if I find there 40 and 5 righteous? And he said, I will not destroy, but spare them. And he said unto him again, and said, Peradventure, there should be 40 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 40's sake. And he said again unto the Lord, O let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure, there shall be 30 found there. And he said, I will not destroy them, if thou shalt find 30 there. And he said, Behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord. Wilt thou destroy them, if peradventure there shall 20 be found there? And he said, I will not destroy them for 20's sake. And Abraham said unto the Lord, O let not the Lord be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. And the Lord said, I will not destroy them for 10's sake. And the Lord ceased speaking with Abraham. And as soon as he left communing with the Lord, Abraham went his way, and it came to pass that Abraham returned unto his tent. Chapter 19. Angels remove Lot from Sodom. Sodom and Gomorrah destroyed. Lot's wife perishes. Iniquity of Lot's daughters. And it came to pass that there came 3 angels to Sodom in the evening, and Lot sat in the door of his house in the city of Sodom. And Lot, seeing the angels, rose up to meet them. And he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down to rest, the men of the city of Sodom compassed the house round, even men which were both old and young, even the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came in unto thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. And Lot went out of the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not do so wickedly. And they said unto him, Stand back. And they were angry with him. And they said among themselves, This one man came in to sojourn among us, and he will needs now make himself to be a judge. Now we will deal worse with him than with them. Wherefore they said unto the man, We will have the men and thy daughters also, and we will do with them as seemeth us good. Now this was after the wickedness of Sodom. And Lot said, Behold now, I have 2 daughters, which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, plead with my brethren, that I may not bring them out unto you, and ye shall not do unto them as seemeth good in your eyes. For God will not justify his servant in this thing. Wherefore let me plead with my brethren this once only, that unto these men ye do nothing, that they may have peace in my house. For therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. And they were angry with Lot, and came near to break the door. But the angels of God, which were holy men, put forth their hand, and pulled Lot into the house unto them, and shut the door. And they smote the men with blindness, both small and great, that they could not come at the door. And they were angry, so that they wearied themselves to find the door, and could not find it. And these holy men said unto Lot, Hast thou any here besides thy sons-in-law, and thy sons and thy daughters? And they commanded Lot, saying, Whatsoever thou hast in the city, thou shalt bring out of this place, for we will destroy this place. Because the cry of them is waxen great, and their abominations have come up before the face of the Lord, and the Lord hath sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get ye out of this place, for the Lord will destroy the city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law. And when the morning came, the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And while he lingered, the angels laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Lord being merciful unto them. And they brought them forth, and set them down without the city. And it came to pass, that they had brought them forth abroad, that they said unto them, Escape for your lives, look not behind you, neither stay you in all the plain, except to the mountain, lest you be consumed. And Lot said unto one of them, O not so, my lord. Behold now, thy servant has found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life, and I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil overtake me, and I die. Behold now, here is another city, and this is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. O let me escape thither, and may the Lord not destroy it, and my soul shall live. And the angel said unto him, See, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city for the which thou hast spoken. Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything until thou be come thither. And the name of the city was called Zor. Therefore the sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zor. And the Lord did not destroy Sodom until Lot had entered into Zor. And then, when Lot had entered into Zor, the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah. For the angels called upon the name of the Lord for brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And thus they overthrew those cities, and all the plain, and all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew upon the ground. But it came to pass, when Lot fled, his wife looked back from behind him, and became a pillar of salt. And Abraham got up early in the morning, to the place where he stood before the Lord, and he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah, and toward all the land of the plain, and behold, lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass, when God had destroyed the cities of the plain, that God spake unto Abraham, saying, I have remembered Lot, and sent him out of the midst of the overthrow, that thy brother might not be destroyed when I overthrew the city in the which thy brother Lot dwelt. And Abraham was comforted. And Lot went up out of Zor, and dwelt in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him, for he feared to dwell in Zor, and he dwelt in a cave, and he and his 2 daughters. And the firstborn dealt wickedly, and said unto the younger, Our father has become old, and we have not a man on the earth to come in unto us, to live with us after the manner of all that live on the earth. Therefore come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they did wickedly, and made their father drink wine that night. And the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. And it came to pass on the morrow, that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also, and go thou in and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night also. And the younger arose and lay with him, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. And the firstborn bare a son, and called his name Moab, the father of the Moabites, the same which are unto this day. And the younger she also bare a son, and called his name Ben-Ami, the father of the children which are the Ammonites, the same which are unto this day. Chapter 20. Abraham and Sarah go to Gerar. Abimelech reproves them for their deception. And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the south country, and dwelt between Kadesh and Shur, and sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham said again of Sarah his wife, She is my sister. And Abimelech king of Gerar sent and took Sarah. But God came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said unto him, Behold, thou hast taken a woman which is not thine own, for she is Abraham's wife. And the Lord said unto him, Thou shalt return her unto Abraham, for if thou do it not, thou shalt die. And Abimelech had not come near her, for the Lord had not suffered him. And he said, Lord, wilt thou slay me, and also a righteous nation? Behold, said he not unto me, She is my sister? And she even herself said, He is my brother. And in the integrity of my heart, and innocency of my hands have I done this. And God said unto him in a dream, Yea, I know that thou didst do this in the integrity of thy heart, for I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore suffered I not thee to touch her. Now therefore restore the man's wife to him, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not to him, know thou that thou shalt surely die, thou and all that are thine. Therefore Abimelech arose early in the morning, and called his servants, and told all these things in their ears. And the men were sore afraid. Then Abimelech called Abraham, and said unto him, What hast thou done unto us? And in what have I offended thee, that thou hast brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin? Thou hast done things unto me that ought not to be done. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What sawest thou that thou hast done this thing? And Abraham said, Because I thought assuredly the fear of God was not in this place, and they would slay me for my wife's sake. And yet, indeed, she was my sister. She was the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. And it came to pass, when God caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, This shall be thy kindness, which thou shalt show unto me. At every place whither we shall come, say of me, He is my brother. And Abimelech took sheep and oxen and men servants and women servants, and gave unto Abraham, and restored unto him Sarah his wife. And Abimelech said, Behold, my land lieth before thee, dwell where it pleaseth thee. And unto Sarah he said, Behold, I have given thy brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, he shall give unto thee a covering of the eyes, and it shall be a token unto all, that thou mayest not be taken again from Abraham thy husband. And thus she was reproved. So Abraham prayed unto God, and God healed Abimelech and his wife and his maidservants, and they bare unto him children. For because of Sarah, Abraham's wife, the Lord had fast closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech.